All right, welcome YouTube. I'm Nick Rizzo. I work at Watch What Happens Live, and I am here with the Real Housewives of Melbourne, Jackie, Chyka, and Janet. Now, they're only here in the States for a little while, and the season is well underway, so I thought it would be fun for us to do a little mini reunion. And since the clubhouse is being used by Andy, I thought we could just situate ourselves right here in these cubicles. Coming up on the Real Housewives of Melbourne mini office reunion. Who do you think has done the least amount of shining this season?
Oh, you're not into
I'm impartial. I'm not going to judge.
I'm sorry, because
yes,
of course
yes,
you're the comedy.
yeah, of course.
I was given a death threat, and these two witnesses.
I don't want to take it easy on you girls. Just get ready. Let's
tough.
just go in with some really tough questions, okay?
Let's do it, darling.
Chyka, Jackie, how did your husbands react when they saw you with those naked strippers and their tight bums and everything? Were they upset at all?
How shocked were we with Jackie wasn't so into it? Like, I, of all people, would have thought that Jackie would have been the one that owned it. I loved it.
Do you know, you did love it. In fact, when that stripper said to me, Jackie, will you lick that cream off my nipple? I was like, Chyka! Boo boo.
It was disgusting.
Who do you think has done the least amount of shining this season?
Oh, that's it.
Jackie.
Who's been
Glad
the
you got that
dullest?
question.
Easy. The dullest. Well, there's a
Idiot.
couple of one-trick ponies, I think. But we'll let Jenna answer that one.
I think the question was directed to you.
Idiot.
Okay.
I mean, but we all know the answer to that question. Why is everyone laughing at me when I
Because it's
say
just the fact that you're saying that instead of
Idiot.
her real name. You're not into
Yeah.
idiot?
that is your real name?
I'm impartial. I'm not going to
Oh,
judge.
sorry, because
yes,
of course
yes,
you're the comedy.
yeah, of course. Now I have a question for all of you regarding Gamble and her sister Tempest, who just sort of came in out
Who
of
has a
nowhere.
temper.
She has a temper. So I want to ask you: do you think Gamble should have put a leash on Tempest
Yes.
when she was
Yes,
going off at Janet?
100%.
Gamble was in
I'm
the
sorry,
wrong there.
Gamble knew what was going on.
Yes, she
should have
did.
said to Tempest, you don't know this whole story.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
And the fact that Janet had to walk out of that party, not good form.
I think
Yeah.
Janet was set up, and Janet's a very good friend of ours, and I said to Janet, I just said, I think you're certainly going to be set up here, and I think she certainly was, because she's just sitting there letting her sister just go,
But in fairness to
you know what I mean?
Tempest, if we really come back to the real issue, Tempest was really being a really good sister.
She was.
Yes,
And
but what
she
I'm
is
saying
a really
is
good
that-
girl. She was given incorrect information that I
But
think
that's
made
the
up.
point.
Which is
In
why
three,
Gamble should have been the
yes.
one that
And
went
Gamble
and
should
said
have said,
something.
hey listen, actually I'm sorry, but I'm the biggest liar on the planet, and I told you a lie, and actually Janet didn't make it up, but look,
Yeah.
we have this saying in Australia, and it's called like, don't get the gremlin wet, and that's like, don't give people too much alcohol. It's an Australian thing.
Okay, I can say. I
can use that
understand.
one
Yeah. Okay, good.
Don't
So
get the gremlin wet, baby.
I will not get any gremlins wet.
Back.
Yeah. Now, looking back, Janet, do you think you would have revealed what you did reveal at lunch, or would you have kept your mouth shut now knowing how much trouble that caused?
I understand how much trouble it caused, but I would really like to make a point at this juncture.
Good time now.
Between
Yeah, in these
Kettle
We're in
Black,
New York.
between
my
Kettle
journey.
Black and when we went to Chadstone, Gamble got on the telephone and rang a number of people and asked them, did you say that? A couple of people actually called me and said to me, Janet, did you tell her? And I said, yes, I did, and if you were her friend, you would have told her yourself. So what was not in that scene at Chadstone was that I said, I don't know why you're carrying on like this, because you went straight back to the source. So you know that I didn't make it up. But that never made it all of the way through. So she's a very tricky little character. Although I do like her and get on with her quite well, she did know from the beginning that I didn't make it up. And I think
She
that
manipulated it.
sensationalizing because she was a new person that came into the group, and I think she was getting airtime. And not being an awful person, but that she knew from the beginning, she and I both knew that she knew I didn't make it up, and she was just playing some sort of a game. So, but having said that, she's actually a really, really sweet girl.
Good.
Crazy, nuts, and probably a stripper, but a really, really lovely girl.
Alrighty, now Jackie and Janet, you apparently witnessed Gina saying that she wanted to throw the newbies under the bus.
Absolutely.
What actually happened?
Well, this is the account of the story. I should actually be embarrassed.
Because you deal in facts, not
darling,
friction.
I deal in
She does.
couture facts that are
Say it
real
one more time.
and not twisted.
Yes.
Couture facts that are real and not twisted.
And not a bogan word.
Yes, absolutely, not a bogan word. So what happened was, we're at the morning show, we're just about to do an interview. I was sitting with some musicians that Ben and I know, they were just about to go on and play. Gina starts speaking to Janet about how we should throw the two newbies under the bus. Now, our makeup artists were there, strategizing, and our makeup artists were there, our publicity were there, and I turned around and I said, I'm not doing that. She goes, it's only because you effing like Petty Flo. I said, actually I do, at that point. And then I think I called her a
Oh.
Yeah, I did. I have
Jackie's favourite words.
No, because I actually thought that's a really, like, these girls just come into their group, and who thinks like that? For me, that I found that really actually disappointing, I will be honest.
I do find too that with Gina, what she does, and I've known her for years, I get on with her quite well, but what she does is that she throws these things out in jest, wondering, testing the water.
Yeah.
She's just testing the water. There are so many things are said in jest that are actually real. And let me tell you that if Jackie and I, we both said, no, we're not going to throw the newbies under the bus. We actually didn't want to strategize because being on camera, we can't strategize. We don't know where everyone's going.
Yeah.
We don't want to
It's
play
not a
that
game
game.
either.
You don't do
And
that to
so
people.
when she said that, we just sort of said no. But had we said yes, then we would be in a completely different conversation.
Now, Jackie, you said at dinner in the Philippines to Gina that you will never speak to her again, and she said the exact same to you. What is the status of your relationship right now?
I think Gina and I, we have this very robust relationship and a very, not awkward, what's the right word?
Jackie, you just can't stand lying.
You're frenemies.
Do you know what it is?
Sorry.
Yes, I'm going to be honest. I
Proximity.
cannot stand people that
She
lie.
can't stand
I
it.
cannot stand
You're
people
honest
that
and
lie.
true.
And when people lie, especially to my face, I think I just go into shock mode and shut down. And actually, in the last episode, you actually see me chasing Gina out to the door to open the door.
It's fantastic.
But
You
it
love
looks but it actually looks like the way Gina probably tried to portray it, said I'm trying to attack her, but that's not the case. What happened was I was given a death threat from season 1 off camera, and it did come from Gina and these two witnesses in this situation. And I was never allowed to say anything because she was embarrassed.
Shall we lift that
And
door up?
so as time went on, I heard a lot more information. So season 2, the last episode, I'm not going to give name. She actually brought somebody to the event that she would never do, that would never want to actually be tagged or be
In
on
an
camera.
effort to intimidate
To
you. That's
intimidate
like the
me,
reason
yes.
that she brought
So she brought up a couple of questions I was asked, and I was telling Gamble exactly what the truth was about throwing them in the bus. And then she said, you've got dilated pupils. And then she ran out and I said, I've had it with you. I had it with lies. I've had it with you putting people down. And I've just had it with you. And especially bringing this person to this event that obviously knew that would intimidate me. So I went out to the deck where she was, tried to open the door, and she was holding the door. And she's like, oh my God, I have to call the police. But what people didn't see is that she actually grabbed my arm a few times and said, don't touch me. Do not touch me. But the reason I went out, when I look back at it now, I think throughout the whole season, I have known all about this situation from season 1. And I think my anger manifested into fear.
It always weighed on you.
No, but it really did. I actually felt intimidated, and I did feel fearful because I did tell production I actually would go home. And I told these two ladies before we started filming, I have a really bad feeling about this night, and I only had one drink that night. And I messaged my husband halfway through the night and I said, I want to come home. He said, no, you're going to stay there. And so what it looks like is, the way it's probably been cut and edited, is that I'm going after Gina and attacking her. But what people didn't actually see, because she had, in a contract that you couldn't bring this person's name into the situation, was the fact that I did feel intimidated. And then when you see the reunion, I think a few things
But I think people have to also remember there's always a backstory to everything.
Oh,
so
yes.
what you see,
Yes.
there's like 5 or 10%,
Yes.
there's 90% behind. So what you see isn't necessarily always what you get.
And that's what we always deal with here with the U.S. Housewives, where we get to the reunion and all of a sudden we find out all of this information,
Yeah,
like
you're
what
like,
you just
wow.
told me.
Yes.
It's just like, it's baffling.
Where that
Well,
comes
so
from.
many
Yeah.
times I said to Gamble I didn't want to tell her on camera about
Correct.
it.
Yeah, you did.
Four
You said
times,
actually 4
but
times.
they didn't ever put that on because it's probably not good for the story. So there's a lot of things like this that go on, and it's really, that's why reunion in a way, although it's frightening,
It's cathartic.
also
It
very
is,
cathartic,
yes.
because we get the opportunity to say things that actually happened that maybe didn't make it to camera.
Yeah, true.
So where the status of our relationship is, Jen and I definitely do not hate each other. I don't hate anyone in life. I think it's just very much that at the end of the day, just be truthful to me and you'll have an honest relationship. And that's where we're at.
At the end of the day, it's just about that you just hate lying. And that's why you like having, that's why I like her. No, truly, I do. I know that everything that you're going to say to me, I don't have to question, I don't have to worry, I don't have to think, oh, is she playing a head fuck with me? No, I actually know what she says, that's it. It's the truth.
It's the truth. We like the truth.
Yeah.
It's all about
And I think
There are no head mucks here. We have the truth.
Oh, we
about
have the
the
truth.
Thank you so much to these wonderful
you,
housewives. And yeah, keep watching Real Housewives of Melbourne Thursday nights on Bravo.
Thank you.
Watch the rest.
Shine,
and
shine,
then-
shine.
Shine, shine, shine.
Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. And make sure you subscribe to our Watch What Happens Live Clubhouse channel right here. And to watch more videos, click here and here. See ya.